Hi, I'm Pastor Franny. Thank you for joining us on the Heart of the Matter. On the last episode, I had the pleasure of interviewing Terry Perkins. She's a licensed clinical Christian social worker. We cover some tough topics about negative effects that the smart devices are having on our children, from school, home, and everything in between. We covered so much more in that interview, I wanted to share it with you. So without further ado, we're going to jump back into the interview with my friend, Terry Perkins. Her name is Terry Perkins. She's a native of Pensacola, Florida. She received her bachelor's and master's in social work from the University of West Florida. Terry is a clinical program supervisor at the Children's Home Society and provides direct services to clinics, school administrators, teachers, staff at the middle schools in Escambia County. She's a fully licensed clinical social worker and qualified supervisor for master-level interns who are working toward their license. She has also been an adjunct field instructor at the University of West Florida teaching in the Department of Social Work. Terry has provided therapy services for over 15 years in outpatient, in-home, school-linked mental health programs and treatment settings. Terry enjoys working with children of all ages and is certified as a trauma-focused cognitive behavior therapist, also a child-parent psychotherapist. Terry has taken extensive coursework and attended numerous trainings in attachment and bonding, infant mental health, childhood trauma, and adverse childhood experiences. I've counseled many people, and I never thought about the device and how much it's hurting our relationships, our children, just so many areas. We touch it every day in so many ways.
Yes.
I mean, when I did the list, I was appalled. It was very alarming to me how much we use the phone. We use it for everything.
Or think about the kid that's on the device from the time they arrive home from school, all day, all night, hours at a time. Imagine their eyes, how it's impacting their eyes, it's
Hurts the vision.
impacting their brain, you know, really not being in everyday life because you're so consumed with this video game. And everything is about the video game.
Everything.
Everything. And that is how they connect with each other, is through video games. They can connect with each other. They can have conversations through video games. It's really interesting. I was watching a kid play a video game and he was talking to another kid. And I mean, they can talk to each other. But think about all of the other people that are on these video games that are not safe people. We have human trafficking at home, which is so significant in Pensacola. And it's just so many different ways that people are connecting with children. And that can be an avenue for them to connect with them. The video games, the TikToks, and all of these different things that they have out today. But everything is about getting followers. Everything is about getting hits and getting likes. And think about the detriment that it does to young ladies, young girls, when they don't see themselves as beautiful as the next girl, or they're looking at, videos of things that you can do to have people like you more. Yeah, it's just
so
so
sad.
much. Yeah, it's so much out here today.
It's so sad. And now just think about the pedophile and how easy it is to get in now into their psyche, into their brain. Oh, you got to see it. You're beautiful.
Yeah.
I mean, I had a little girl once, a teen was posing nude.
Oh,
It got to that point.
yes.
I mean, with a stranger.
Yes. That occurs more frequently than not.
And yeah, we got parents, I feel like, just asleep at the wheel. And how, I don't understand, like you said, parents think it's normal. How in the world can you think it's normal to just give them this gadget and go about your way. What is the greatest parent struggle, you think?
I think just being a parent. I think today being a parent is so difficult and so hard. And I feel a lot of it is because sometimes those parents have not been taught. So if you have not been taught
You can't
as a
teach.
parent, then you can't teach. Or, let's face it, the children today, they are more tech savvy than the average adult. Like, they teach me things that I don't know. So I think that is another part of it. They know how to, we set up parental controls and we do all of these things. And
That's funny to me.
yeah, they know
Parental
how
control.
to create another account
right.
or bypass those things. But I just feel that being a parent is just so hard today. I feel that there are so many things going on out in the world, and people are consumed with those things, or really, just going to work and, well, what can I do? Or what can he do? What can she do while I'm at work? Well, let's get them a video game, or let's get them a tablet, or let's get them a phone, you know because that's what everyone else has. So let me do the same.
And I always said, is parents have peer pressure.
Yes.
So how are we supposed to teach the children not to have it? Not to have peer pressure. I think the feminist movement, there's a lot of things have caused why the parents are struggling so, because we got our minds focused on things that we shouldn't be focused on. There's seasons to life. And I think women are so afraid of losing themselves. Till they focus just on themselves. And once I get me straight, then I work on you. But we're losing our children. We've lost our marriages. Not saying it's totally our fault, because it's not.
Right.
It's not. But now we're losing our children too. And it's all because I think of selfishness. Everybody's just so, what about me? What about me? What about your children? Because guess what? Either you're going to pay now, or you're going to pay later. I mean, we have grandparents now raising grandchildren because the children can't do it. They're on drugs, jail, just don't have the wherewithal to parent.
Right.
And so now they're having to take their years when they should be enjoying, traveling, relaxing, retiring. Now they have to raise children. So this is what I mean by when I say pay now, pay later. You're gonna have to invest in your child. And I don't think you should want someone else to invest in your child if you don't. But I know it's a lot of people do. They want you to take it over. No. You need to invest in your child.
Yeah.
Then ask someone else.
And I'm in agreement with that. Even in my private practice, I stress that I will not work with any child if the parent is not involved. There is no way that you can work with a child and the parent is not involved. And when you do that, you really want to look at the family system. I mean, that's really what's important. What is really going on with the family? Because it may be something that we can work through if we can get to the parent. And maybe equally all of us coming together, we can look at, well, what's the issue? And what can we all do collectively to get everyone on the same page and get everyone on track? It's hard to do that. It is so hard. But with many parents, they have their own issues or other things that may be going on, and it just makes it difficult. It really does.
If you can identify the biggest mistake.
The biggest mistake. Gosh, I can look at this so many different ways, but
Maybe it's not just one mistake because, like you said, it's
so
overlapping things.
And it is, but I really wonder sometimes if parents recognize how influential they are in the lives of their children. You know, it's one thing to say that, but to truly understand the meaning behind it. How influential are you? You know, and so that could even be, it's so funny that we're talking about this. I just had this conversation this morning with my mother and Lakeisha when we were talking, and we were talking about this behavior that she does. And while raising a little one in their home, this little one picked up that same behavior that my mom would do. It wasn't a good behavior, but it's those little things. So not only do they pick up the great things about us, but they also pick up some things about us that are not so great. So if you are that parent who solves issues and problems where you're always yelling and screaming or using profanity, what do you think they're going to do? They do the same.
Apple don't fall far from the tree.
Yes, and I think we miss that. I think that is the biggest thing that parents sometimes they don't understand. They just don't.
Okay, I think maybe a few, but I really think people about, I gotta do me. I need to feel special. I need to feel validated, you know?
Yeah.
And so everything else goes to the back burner from what I'm seeing. Because I was a parent, a young parent, 19 years old, but I knew I couldn't watch any movie I wanted to watch in front of my children.
Right.
Yet, we have parents sit there and they do whatever they want right in front of the children. What do you think they're gonna do?
Yes, they pick up everything
Everything.
that we do.
Everything.
They pick it up, whether it's good or whether it's bad. But knowing that, I always try to remind the families that I work with, the things that you do and the things that you say, it makes such impact. And sometimes I don't really think that they truly believe how impactful they are until it comes time to really see those things. So I get to see adults who come for services, and their struggles are struggles from childhood.
Training. I always say training.
Yes.
It's
amazing.
Yes. You can see it in grown-ups. I see the same things I'm dealing with the children back, with the children in the back. I see them in the grown-ups to this day. The same, gotta have my way, gotta do it my way, because when you were little, you had your way and you did it your way. And I see the same, I see it, it's amazing how I can still see it all in adults. It doesn't change.
Yeah.
It just gets worse.
Yeah. And the shock of when someone calls it to their, or brings it to their attention, they're shocked, like,
Is that me?
yeah. And like, yes,
I could be.
so, but
Try to say it empathetically.
yes.
It's
Definitely
you.
trying to
It's
say
you.
it empathetically. Oh,
Oh my goodness. What advice do you have for parents when it comes to the right age for kids to have a phone with internet access?
when we talk about age, I look at age so differently. I can have a child that is 7. Chronologically, we know that they're 7, but developmentally, how old are they? And oftentimes people never think about that. So I know children who, struggle with some mental health illnesses that literally can take away a few years of their age. And so when it comes to devices and what is the appropriate age, for me, I always go back to, is this something that this child needs at this point in time in their life? That's really what I look at. Is this something that they truly need? And if they do, then what are the reasons why? Tell me why they need this. Those are the questions that as parents, we should be asking ourselves. Because I wonder, again, goes back to the peer pressure. Are you purchasing this device because of the peer pressure, because of the constant need of, so and so has this, or, I need this, I want this. But really, what is the need?
There is no need that I can see. Um, my husband, Pastor Nick, he always talked about the cell phone and that a kid shouldn't have a cell phone until they could pay for it themselves. I mean, really? And I mean, the parents will make excuses for them as to why they need these phones. I have heard every excuse under the sun. Their grandmother paid for it. Oh, they need it if they need have an emergency. Back in the day, you just went to the office and they called your parent.
Right.
So
Which is true.
they are upholding. They
Which is
want these children to have these devices, and I'm just trying to let them know how damaging.
Yeah.
Not even talking about the games, but the phones, and then they come in. Parental security, is that a joke or what?
Yeah.
Oh, I have parental security on the phone, Pastor Franny. These children have worked that phone 3 ways around you because they own it all day, all night.
And it's such a distraction. And that is an important point that you mentioned. At night,
Under the covers.
oftentimes they're not going to bed on time. They're coming to school, they're groggy, they're irritable, they're restless because they've been up all night.
Right.
And, going back to the phone and the age, so I will self-disclose and say I purchased a cell phone for, let's see, what was he, maybe 12. He was 12. I think I purchased a cell phone for Tashawn at the age of 12. And what that taught me was that was not a good choice. It wasn't a good decision for me because it distracted him in school. We receive phone calls sometimes about him being on the phone. And that's what that's it. It was just on the phone. And so now he no longer has a phone. And so I think the best decision is to wait until he's older. And I know that he's responsible. He can do his work and he can have a phone, but just at this juncture in his life, he cannot. He's proven that.
And I just noticed the parents have such a hard time standing up and saying, no, you're not having a phone. But my friend and
Yeah.
I don't care. Because I'm going to do what's best. I love you. But a lot of times it's being a child don't understand that. But we still have to be parents. Because like I say, pay now, pay later.
Yes.
What happens now, they're in the porn. And now it affects the rest of their life. And they kill me with this parental security. Oh, I have that on their phones. I know where they're going. What about sex texting? You're looking at all the texts too? And what do you think children are talking about? They always talk about something they ain't supposed to be. That's what a child does. We have to govern them.
Yes.
It is our job to govern them.
Yes, and that gets into more when they have devices and they have the ability to take pictures and, the sexting, and really teaching them to be very careful with that because
They're a child.
The problem,
careful.
the huge issue could lead to criminal charges today. That is something interesting that has come out, with a lot of this, kids taking pictures where they are completely nude. And, children are very impulsive.
Yeah.
One send the picture and someone else sends the picture and, the picture is now out in the cloud, as they call it. So, yes, we've got to really be careful today. I've heard of law enforcement becoming involved with some of the teenagers due to inappropriate pictures or videos.
Oh my gosh, and then there's the bullying. There's now, like you say, it's out. They send it out. They God forbid a friend find it and he don't like you, she don't
Yes.
like you, send it to everyone. Now it's all over the school, the embarrassment. It has gotten to the point where teens have become suicidal.
Yes.
Isn't that
Yes.
sad? Over a device
Yes.
and need validation from all these different voices. How in the world are you going to get validation from all these different voices unless you're doing something crazy? And that's what it pushes them to, the posing, because they need someone to say you're special.
Yes.
It's so sad.
It is
And it's
very.
a bunch of sick people just waiting to attach themselves to them. I didn't even know a little girl was going to leave home and meet someone. I was
Yes.
like, oh gosh. I said, oh my goodness.
Yes.
And I mean, it was nothing but God. I had all spilled out. And I talked to her and say, girl. I mean, it gave me, I just get goosebumps when I think about it.
Yeah. And again, it goes back to, how much do we truly know what our children are doing on the phones, on the tablets, any electronic device? Like, truly, how much do we know? you know. And when we later discover and find out, we are just shocked.
A lot of times it's too late. Mm-hmm. It's too late. This has been festering. A lot of times they don't even talk to us and tell us what's going on with them in the room with the device, and that's it. I see you in the morning.
Yes.
Give them breakfast, go to school, in the room with device. Morning comes, we give them breakfast, we sit them in school, we come home in the room with the device, and you don't know what's going on with them. And the next thing you know, they've committed suicide, they've ran away, they're in with some crazy person. It's just
Yeah,
ongoing.
that interaction, the interaction, the relationship with your children, it is just vital, and not to say that they will always share everything with us, but the interaction alone is so important, really having, the safeguards are all great if you decide to allow the electronic device, but really limiting their time on those electronic devices.
Can't regulate it, don't do
know?
it. If they're little children, they don't need it.
And I agree, they don't.
Let
if
them
they're
be
really little.
children. Go outside
Out
and
and play.
play. Let them be children. You only get one childhood.
These electronic devices, they're just out there, and what's better than the next one that's better,
Right.
or the latest version, or the
It never
latest,
ends.
so
And that's another measurement of validation, and that I'm great. I got the latest.
yeah.
Then mommy got to run out and get the latest because now I'm not cool no more. It's ridiculous.
Yeah.
Can you share how you blend the academic side of what you do? How you balance that with your faith? Because it's like oxymorons.
It's
different.
difficult.
Yes.
I mean, difficult in all caps, difficult.
Oh my God.
It's very difficult. So, of course, in my private practice, I have the ability to do that a little more. But oftentimes, and it's so funny that we're discussing this. I mentioned this to your husband this morning on the phone, but oftentimes it's really asking permission. And I must have a feel for it, that discernment to
Holy
know.
Spirit, leading, guiding you.
Yes, absolutely. But I feel that God has made that path so much easier for me, because even some of the clients that come in and, and they're very upfront, and they'll tell you, I don't want to hear anything about God, nothing about the church, no scriptures, none of that, which I can appreciate that. So I know going in,
Right.
okay, so allow me not to say these things. But once you build a rapport, because that's what a lot of it is about, building the rapport, they are more receptive to things that you may share with them.
Right.
I had a family once, and there was a teenage son, and there was some struggles. And I said to her, you know, there is something that I would really like to share with you. I said, now, some of this may have scriptures attached to it, but it is in such layman terms that you can really understand. And as a matter of fact, it was from the Winning in the Word show.
To
So
God.
I have actually typed those up. And for my parents that are open to that in my practice, I share that with them. And I truly believe that. And one of the things that I'll never forget is, you know, about women, how sometimes we nag. And, you know, we do, you know, we do and we can. But really, you know, feeling the need to constantly be on them about this and about that, you know, really giving them that room to breathe. I just love that so much. And I shared with Lakeisha, I said, you know, I am going to get this to where I can have it printed out, and I attached your name and Pastor Nick's name to it. And I was like, these are some great tips for you to use. And I can tell you that, you know, the parent used them, and she was like, you know what? These are things that we never think about, but it's things that we should always be thinking about. It's just simple things that I need to do to work on myself so that I can have a better relationship with my son. And I'm like, absolutely.
Glory to God.
Yes.
God bless you.
But it definitely is, it's not an easy road, but I am just so grateful to God because He is making this happen for me where I feel like I'm ministering to
You
people.
are. I was just going to say,
That's
this
what
is
I
a
feel
divine
like.
appointment.
I just feel like,
Hallelujah.
you know, and
yes,
it feels so
You
great.
are.
It feels wonderful.
it is. It's a great
Because
thing.
I can, you know, academics are great, and, you know, you learn things so that you can get these degrees, but school never truly teaches you, truly, these experiences that you will encounter.
Amen to that.
And I must be in a position where my mind is great and I have God in my life so that I can help others. And doing that, I mean, the changes that they're making, it makes me feel so great.
Isn't it wonderful?
It is.
It's the
It's
best
so wonderful.
thing. It really is. It's the best thing. And I know it's people hunting and looking for careers and things that's going to fulfill them and make them
Yes.
happy. And I'm telling you, it's ministry. It's nothing like having ministry and ministering to others and having a purpose from the Father, and He uses you. It's such a great feel.
Yes.
And to see how much turmoil and all the things they were going through, and now their eyes come open, it's like, I see, it's nothing like it.
Yes.
Nothing like it.
Nothing.
God is so good, and I'm just so elated and just excited about what He's gonna do with you.
Yeah, I'm excited. I'm
you're
so
willing.
excited. Yes,
You're
and I'm
willing.
excited, you know, about this journey. And, you know, when they come and they're talking with me and we're just looking over things, and, you know, oftentimes how people go out and they always want to get everybody else's opinion. You know, where I talk to this person and I ask this one and this one. I was like, well, why are you doing all of that? You know, you told me yourself, you prayed about this, you asked God. So sit, be silent, patient, and listen. Because I truly feel that God has already answered this for you, but you're still wanting to go out and ask more. But yes.
Wasn't that awesome? That was such a blessing. Now you have an opportunity to send your questions in to us. Just click the link below and you can submit those questions. Get your friends together, have them come on and put questions in for us so they can get answers from a professional and a Christian. It's just a wonderful thing. So join us on the next episode as we get to the heart of the matter.
Thanks for watching tonight. If this show has been a blessing to you, help us be a blessing to others. There are two major ways to do that. The first way is your financial support. We'd love for you to partner with us. With as little as $10, you can help us reach about 1,000 people. That's pretty awesome, right? Every dollar helps us get this message to the world. So just go to ltmorlando.org/THM to give today. The second way, you can show your support by liking, sharing, and subscribing on YouTube, Facebook, and Instagram at LTM Orlando. Your support on social goes a long way. Thanks again for watching tonight, The Heart of the Matter.